In this video, I'm going to walk you through the process for the Creality Falcon A1 Pro. Look for a project on their design software, downloading it, and then loading it into the program, and then cutting out a project. And if you missed my previous video on the Falcon A1 Pro, the initial review that I've done a few months ago, I will be sure to put a link up above where I show the process of setting it up and walking through the steps of getting started in that. So this is a follow-up video here on the Falcon A1 Pro, and I'm going to show you the process of going through the project. I'm going to do another wood project. The thing that is really nice about this one, this is I would consider it's a upper entry level laser system. So if you're looking to get into a new laser and nothing that's going to be so overly cumbersome, this would be a great starter one to consider. It doesn't take up a huge amount of space. It does sit on a top of a workbench that I have this on. It's like a little cart. Just to give you a rundown on some dimensions of it real quick, it is about 22 inches wide, just over that. But if you're taking into account the side screen that they have off to the side, it's a total of like 27 inches wide. And the depth of it is just under 19 inches. And that's not counting the exhaust pipe that's out the back of it. The thing that's nice about this is that it has the front entry panel, so you can work on projects this way, as well as it has a top lid you can open up and then put projects in from the top part. So it's nice in that sense. This is a 20-watt diode laser that's mainly for cutting and engraving on different materials like wood, cork, leather, acrylic. There's really many different materials you could do with this one. And the thing that's nice about this setup is that this laser head comes out easily, and you're able to switch it out with a 2-watt infrared laser, which would be good for engraving on different metals. That would be sold separately from this unit itself, but at least it's good to have that option in the sense that you're able to expand its operation and usefulness. And I will be sure to put links down in the description below. In full disclosure, Creality did send me this laser to test out and review and share with you guys. And I am rather new to lasers itself, and I'm not used to going through the whole process of downloading and creating different projects. So it is more of a beginner-friendly laser, as I am definitely a beginner in laser engraving. The other thing that's not included in the basic package of the Falcon A1 Pro is this lower honeycomb grid. This is going to be a mandatory item I would recommend picking up in addition to the laser itself, because this will allow you to do different cuts with the laser engraving instead of right on the bottom surface itself. It's good to have the airflow when you're making actual cuts with the laser. That way you can suck out the air, out the exhaust, as well as it doesn't create a lot of back heat to the surface of the material that you are cutting with the laser. So definitely recommend having a honeycomb grid if you're deciding to purchase this laser. And one thing to note as well, Creality does offer materials on their site. You could purchase and get materials that whether it's acrylic or bamboo or basswood. They do sell this basswood sheet, like these sheets in particular are 16 by 16 square. Now just so you know up front that it won't fit in the table itself, so you will have to have either a table saw or like a circular saw. And what I did was I cut off an inch off of just one side, and that's enough to be able to fit right in the table then. And this is going to be my work piece that I'm going to work on for today's project. It is 3 mil thick basswood. Another thing to take note on too, if you're new to lasering, is you want to make sure you get the materials from a reputable source like Creality, and there's others out there as well, because one of the problems with the thin basswood is it does have a tendency to curve or warp. So it's good to have a good source and pay a little bit extra money for a good quality basswood. That way you're dealing with a flat surface, because if it is warped, it's going to have a harder time creating quality projects, and it's definitely worth the upgrade. Alright, so now I'm going to take you into the computer and we'll go through the Creality software and selecting a design, downloading it, and then making a project. Okay, so first you'll want to download and install the Creality Falcon design space, and then get that loaded up on your computer. And this is what the initial home page will look like on the Falcon design space. So here you'll see actually they have pre-populated like different designs, which they do have general categories of designs that people have uploaded, and there will always be stuff added to the website, so it'll become more robust over time as more designs get loaded, and these are all free to download and work with. So just make note that not all these projects would be compatible with the Falcon A1 Pro. So just pay attention to the laser that's mentioned in the design itself, because there could be more capable lasers the project is specifically to. So just be aware of that. All right, so since I'm going to do some kind of wood project, I have an idea in mind. I wanted to look for like some kind of like an office supply box, to hold pens or maybe hold a phone or something. But I'll just give you a general layout here of the Creality Falcon design space to give you an idea of all the different projects that they do offer. And they have many different designs available, and obviously through the different seasons throughout the year. As you'll see during this time that I'm recording, it's around Valentine's Day. So that's why you start to see like different Valentine's themed designs. So again, this is just on the home page of the design software. So like right here, they have like 3D models and toys, and they have on the top part the different categories that you can actually go under. They have featured items, gift of love, which is obviously the Valentine's theme. They have they have home decor, personalized gifts. Then you could toggle over. They have beginner-friendly projects, holiday projects, art and craft, creative materials, accessories, tools and storage, 3D models and toys. So they have many different categories in themselves. Halloween inspiration, Christmas collection. So really the sky is the limit as far as what's able to be done on the laser. And it's really limited to your imagination. And it's obviously great to be able to choose a design so that way you don't have to go through the process of designing your own thing, at least getting started in the laser engraving. And something too that this would be great at is perhaps like a side hustle, and you can make different craft projects and sell them as a side hustle and help have additional income. So something to consider. A laser like this would be decent just to do some simple projects. Obviously, it's not going to be a high production style of laser, but at least it will be something that's good to help offset the cost of the laser if you want to do your own projects as well as offering them for sale. So I'm going to go back over here to, let's see what the tools and storage section offers. And the other thing that's neat too is that they also offer jigs. So if you're going to be doing engraving on coasters, this would be a great jig to download, and it has like the regular coaster size of 100 millimeters, and this jig is good for 4 of the coasters. That way you could have the coasters placed right exactly where they need to be, and that way you could do repeat designs on coasters. And like here's another jig for a bottle opener. So you could buy these bottle openers like on AliExpress or Alibaba or somewhere else online, maybe even Amazon probably offers them. And this would be a basic jig for this style of bottle opener. That way you're able to do designs on the bottle opener itself, and you keep them in the same spot every time when you go to do the laser engraving. Okay, here someone even created a toilet paper holder. So like I said, it's like the imagination is the limit as far as what can be done. I don't see anything here that stands out to me as far as what I want to do. So I'm going to go back to another category, of which I want to go to the home decor category now and check out what they have available in this section. Now, as soon as I pulled up this home decor category, if you notice here to the left, they actually have all the other categories listed. That way you're easily able to toggle over and then search in different areas, as well as there's a search bar right here. If there's something specific you're looking for, you can search for a project in this box right here. So see, here's the example of coasters that's made of cork. So they have emojis on a coaster. So where that jig would come in handy is if you're going to be doing multiple coasters over time, it'd be handy to have that jig in hand and use that to place the coasters in. This is interesting as well. So here's like a little gift box. And if you notice, like in the design right here, it's all lasered out to where this box would fold up. And this is the lid to the box. If you see right here in the corner, this is what it looks like when it's put together. So that's pretty cool to have a laser that makes such detailed engraving and cutout to where you actually are able to fold up a piece of wood. They even have like a grumpy cat design here on a walnut desk organizer. So you can put post-it notes in a pen, and they have Christmas ornaments. And these are interesting. So they have other designs for coasters. So again, this software is free to use, especially with your Creality laser. So it's definitely handy to have access to a platform like this to be able to select a design and make it. All right, I'm not finding anything that pops out to me that I want to do. So I'm gonna search here in the search box for a box and see what comes up. So like this one right here is pretty cool. So see how it has the rounded corners? Let me pull this one up. So it has rounded corners. So each of these laser lines are basically cut through the basswood that allows you to make the curve. So when you pull up a design like this, you want to look over here, see difficulty level. This is level 2 out of 3 rated. It does have the machine and power as a A1 Pro, which is the one I'm using right here. And the material used is the basswood 3mm, which is what I have in there. So I think we can give this a shot and see how it does. So I'm going to click on make it and see what happens. So it says automatically fill engraving parameters based on the current device. So yes, I do have the laser turned on already. So it's already connected. So I want to click on autofocus, and now the laser is moving. It's going to autofocus to the material itself. So I zoomed out here on the design. It appears it's going to take 3 sheets of the basswood. So I'm going to go and look for another design that's going to just use the 1 sheet because I don't have the 3 pieces ready to go. So let's take a look for other designs and I'll be right back. All right, so I did find this pen holder here as well as a phone holder. Now this does mention that it's for the Creality Falcon A1 Pro, which is a 40 watt, which is going to be a more powerful laser, but it is again on the basswood plywood 3mm. So this A1 Pro should be able to handle that. I want to go ahead and select make it and see how much material that actually takes up. All right, so now I'm going to, I wasn't able to hit the make it button because when I did, it doesn't load it into the program as it would normally populate right here. So I'm going to go back to the design and I'm going to download the SVG folder or file. So it should have downloaded. So I'm going to go back over here to Canvas and I'm going to import it and then locate the file that downloaded. And let's see if this one works. It says that the imported file size is too large and exceeds the canvas size. Do you want to scale it into the size of the canvas? So we'll just select yes. So it might be a miniaturized box compared to what the actual one, because this was, again, it was designed for the other larger laser. So we'll see how well it does. All right, so now we have it selecting, it's set up for line cutting, which is what we want. We want it to cut out all these pieces for this design. All right, so now we're going to select autofocus down here. So it'll adjust the laser head and get it ready. So it adjusted the height of the laser, and we'll go ahead and select frame just to see the boundary of the wood itself and if everything's going to fit in place. The laser did go around and framed out the work area and everything did fit in place there. All right, so we do have everything selected here and it's for line cutting. So the mode is going to be speed 200, power at 100, and it's going to be 1 pass. All right, so now we're ready to get started. So we'll select start down here. And that's going to start. And then one thing to mention also, if you look down here, it says completion time. So this is how long this project's going to take, which is 34 minutes right now. It's already been running for probably a couple minutes or so. And this at least gives you a good idea of how long it'll take. So just be aware of that. And obviously you have to kind of supervise the laser, make sure everything's looking good and operating correctly. All right, so we'll bring you back when it's completed. That way you don't have to sit through a half hour of lasering. So I could already tell with the design of this box, it's going to be definitely a miniaturized box compared to what the actual design file is. So we'll just see how it turns out and how it does. And that's the whole point of doing projects like this, to getting used to the laser, as well as seeing its capabilities, as well as learning from mistakes. And this is just to further prove the importance of having the honeycomb underneath the work surface. As you can see the smoke coming out from underneath there. If you don't have it on a honeycomb where the laser can pass through it, it's definitely going to be setting up for a bad project and perhaps even causing the project to burn. So definitely recommend having that honeycomb when you're going to be doing laser cutting. All right, so it just completed, and I'm going to let the smoke clear out of the unit. It runs the exhaust fan for a period of time after it's done. That way it extracts all the fumes. And in fact, this project actually finished 15 minutes ahead of schedule based on its time frame that it estimated on the software. So I wonder if that's because it might have considered what the original file size was. I'm not sure, but it was actually a lot quicker than what I thought it was going to be. All right, so now the exhaust fan did turn off, and I'm going to open it up and I'm going to attempt to put this thing together. So let's see how that goes. Okay, so got everything cut out, which when I removed this piece, all the pieces did fall out. So I just put it back together so you see what it's like after it's done. And then I'll go ahead and attempt to put it together because it is going to be like a little puzzle here. So this is just ready to go out like that. This one did stay in place, so you kind of just work it a little bit. And it should come right out because it did use 100% power. and making the cuts. Since there's no real directions on the design itself, just kind of have to just use common sense and see how well it goes. Do have to be kind of careful with the prevent the little thin slice of wood that's left on the piece, that it doesn't break. Now trying to get the pieces to fit inside the base plate of it. You can see it's a little bit off here. Of course, maybe I have it in the wrong direction, I don't know. Maybe I do. We'll try it this other direction. There, that's what my problem was. You can kind of see the honeycomb scorching on the back side, so be aware that this could be a potential problem, or you might have to sand that if you're, or paint it, which I kind of actually like that look, but I'm gonna have that on the back side anyways. Oh, that's right, this would go on the front side to hold the cell phone. How about that? I guess once you play around the pieces, kind of figure out where they go. I was going the wrong direction with them. And obviously the thing to probably do would be to add some wood glue to these pieces to hold them in place, because this is kind of like loosely fit inside. But for filming purposes, I just wanted to show the process of it. All right, here's what it looks like completed now. Let's see if it'll hold my phone, because it is a miniature one, so not quite. My phone's too big for this. Maybe it would work if you had a smaller phone, but I do happen to have the large iPhone. But again, this is just another learning experience on going through the process of selecting a design, downloading it, putting in the program, and then putting in the laser. It'll hold a pen. Got a few other pens and a marker. A few other pens and marker in there. But obviously, if you add some wood glue, it'll hold better. And obviously, if you make the dimensions larger as what the original file size called for, then it would definitely work. This is obviously just a miniaturized version. But like I said, I just want to show the process of how it's done and how actually easy it is to select a design and download it. And it's all about trial and error when it comes to lasering, and just going through the process of learning what it's like and making adjustments after the trial and error. So I would, in the program, you would be able to expand the pieces to make them larger, which is probably what I would do next time. And obviously it was kind of a gamble to select a design that was rated for the bigger laser that they offer, and it still worked as far as cutting out all the pieces nice, and it just didn't have the larger bed that their 40-watt diode laser has, in which the design was for. But again, it's just the process of going through it and learning these things that come up like this. So I did go ahead and glue it up. I used some Titebond Ultimate Wood Glue, Titebond 3. And what I did was I just put some Titebond on a paper plate and used a Q-tip and applied it along where the connection points are, as well as on the box, and then the back side supports. I put Titebond along the edges where it connects to the base at, as well as the back part that would support the phone. And it definitely made it more sturdy now. So I wanted to come back and show you, and then I will test it with my phone and see if it will hold it. Obviously I do recommend going with the larger plans, and boom, it does actually work. That's quite shocking that it holds it. I wouldn't recommend storing it like that on this small miniaturized version, but hey, it works. The wood glue definitely helped it without a doubt. And obviously it got some pens and a marker in there. So I thought it was a neat little project to try out and see how it went. I think it's a good learning experience to go through the process, and I wanted to share with you guys on going through there and selecting a design and downloading it and loading it into the software and cutting it out and making it. And so if you did gain value from this video, I appreciate it that you give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more tool reviews, as well as DIY tips, tricks, and tool deal videos. I really appreciate you watching, and I hope you have a great day. Thanks so much.